Here we go. Hey guys, my name is Jeremy, and today I'm gonna do a quick breakdown on how I built this airplane set.
Ladies and gentlemen, please fasten your seatbelts.
A couple years ago, I made a series intro video for my church. The series was called Leaving Loneliness. The basic concept of the video is you're a passenger on a plane that's going through a storm. The plane is shaking, it can be kind of scary, you may feel alone, but then eventually the plane breaks through the clouds, it levels out, and sunlight comes flooding in, hopefully leaving the audience with this sense of peace. Now, because this was a one-shot video, I only needed to build what you were going to see. I only needed the wall, the window, and the seats. Now, I did want a legit airplane window. I thought this was going to be really hard, but it actually wasn't. I was able to find a Boeing 767 American Airlines window for $50 on Etsy. Once I found that, I was pretty happy. Next, I needed a wall, so I went to Home Depot and bought a 4x4 piece of underlayment board. I ended up strapping it down to the top of my car, driving through Hoboken. It probably looked pretty funny, but it worked. So after I got the board, I then cut a hole out for the window. I ended up putting plumber's putty all around the back side of the window, kind of to hold it in place and also to cover up any holes. I then painted the wall white, that airplane white wall look. Once it was dry, I hung it between two backdrop stands. Now for the chairs. I definitely wanted legit airplane seats, but after looking into that wasn't going to be an option. They're just way too expensive and huge. So I went to plan B, which was to use office chairs. So I went to Staples and looked at different options of office chairs, and I eventually landed on one that worked for the video. Now, these weren't cheap, but I actually ended up returning them in the end, and we got our money back. The office chairs were going to be pretty much a silhouette on screen, so I wasn't really worried about them looking too much like office chairs. Once I had the chairs lined up, I began working on my lighting. So the first thing that I did, I needed to cut down all the light spilling in from the window, so I put up a big piece of duvetine, like a 12x12 duvetine. Then I covered the space behind the wall and the inside cabin over the chairs with some floppies, just to kind of create this little cave. To mimic the lights from the airplane wings, I set this Nanlite Pavo tube light. I set it to blink every few seconds. And then for the cabin light, I used another Pavo tube on the floor between the chair and the wall, just to give us that Delta blue look. Then for the storm sequence, I used an Aperture 120D with the lightning effect mode on. Then our friend Luis, I had him squirting the window with water while also holding a hairdryer, blowing the water droplets, just trying to get those water streams going across the window. To simulate turbulence, I did all this handheld, mainly because I wanted to be able to do kind of big drops. Then for the final end shot where the sun kind of starts pouring through the window, I had our friend Al kind of slowly rotate a small tungsten light on a stand from behind the background directly into the window to cast this like golden sunlight onto the back rest of the chair. I also end up putting a piece of construction paper outside the window on the backdrop, just to have that like clear evening sky look. So after several takes of just trying to get the timing right of the sun coming through the window, I needed to turn around like a short tease for that Sunday. The edit was actually pretty straightforward though. I had already picked out the song that I was going to use from Musicbed. The biggest thing was just adding sound design. The plane shaking, the engines kind of revving and struggling through the storm. I did end up recording another staff member doing the little pilot voiceover.
Ladies and gentlemen, please fasten your seatbelts.
But honestly, that was kind of it. I hope you found this interesting, maybe insightful. If you're planning on building an airplane set, here's how we did it. If you have any questions, you can leave those in the comments. I think that's it. Thanks for watching. Until the next video. Peace.